All right. Hello, this is Wmpyr. Here to talk to you guys about my favorite ninja weapon. Okay. um, so, what 70s here in the US was Kung Fu boom, thanks to Mr. Bruce Lee, who made it into Hollywood, right? Enter the Dragon. He did enter the Dragon. Unfortunately, he passed away way too fast. But after that, I believe it was a mega Kung Fu boom here in the US. Now, after that, in the 80s, so we had the 70s, and then in the 80s, I think the producers, the Hollywood producers who made a ton of money with this kung fu movies, were probably going, okay, what's the next fad? How can we make more money? It's all about money, right? And I think they were like, okay, we did Chinese martial arts. What about Japanese martial arts? Let's do Japanese martial arts. And kind of makes sense, I think. So they went with Japanese martial arts next, and they found something I think extra special, which was ninjutsu. Because there's like, yes, it's another martial art, but there was a mysterious element there. So the whole idea of Japanese martial arts, okay, cool, just like any other martial arts in the world, except now we have the samurai culture, right? So when that comes in, now it's a little bit like the Vikings. It's not just the style of combat. We also have this culture, which is fascinating for some people. And then on top of that, you have this thing called ninjas. Out of everything in Japanese culture, it's probably the most fascinating, right? So marketing wise, I think it worked great. So the 90s was a ninja boom. I saw it in G.I. Joe figures. I saw it even in Transformers a little bit later. The Six Shot, he was a ninja, right? Um, it just Soundwave was pretty much like a ninja, spy slash ninja. Anyway, I'm just saying that it was everywhere. Ninjas were everywhere at the time, right? So that was the 90s. And in the 90s, I had come from Japan to the US. So this is me in junior high school. And I remember when the movie Batman came out, right? 89. So when Batman came out, Michael Keaton, Batman, amazing movie. It was a changer at the time. Total game changer, okay? So when that film came out, I remember a Ninja magazine at the gas station, and it was comparing Batman with the ninja, saying Batman is the modern day ninja. So that was one of the things that they said. Interesting article, just obviously going with the fad of the movie Batman. But at the time, I was, like I said, in junior high school, and I'd get on my bicycle and I'd go to the nearest gas station, and then I would buy magazines, comic books, and a whole bunch of candy or what you call it, some kind of ice cream because here in Texas it's super hot. So and that sounds like I had a lot of money, but no, I had to be very very picky. I remember my sister, on the other hand, she bought Jolly Ranchers because it's one of the cheapest, and it you know if we you can't just buy the expensive candies, your allowance is gone in a heartbeat. So me buying comic books and uh, magazines and candy. I mean, I was out of money real fast all the time. But one of the magazines that I like, so I bought comic books, like I said. I liked Pro Wrestling magazine, and then the other one, Pro Wrestling Insider. Well, there were a couple, and then the other one was Ninja magazines. Yes, there was Inside Kung Fu. There's Black Belt, but there was also a Ninja magazine just dedicated to ninja stuff. And I think there was a few of those, maybe like two different ninja magazines. But one of them, I think it just said ninja. That's it. And I enjoyed buying it. And then, of course, in the martial arts magazines, but also in the ninja magazines, it had tons of advertisements in there. That was part of the fun. And I looked through it, and I always see bali songs, butterfly knives there. And I always thought they looked cool. And I had no idea that they were Filipino martial arts knives. And I was like, how do you use these things? You know, I kind of had the idea that you flip them around and they make like a butterfly type of movement somehow, but I just didn't know. I had no idea, so I was fascinated by it, of course. Um, and I thought that was part of maybe at least an American ninja's weapon. Modern day American ninja in the late 80s, early 90s, it's their weapon. A butterfly knife is part of that, is what I thought, you know. And I knew like gang members might have it. But okay. But the number one favorite ninja weapon for me was the Kusari Fundo, the chain weapon. Now I know they had a bunch of different ones, but the one that I like was the short one, and it was the standard Kusari Fundo. Kusari means chain, and then Fundo is the weights on either end. Okay, so it's like I said, it's not a very long chain; it's a short one, and I've always been fascinated. When I read a lot of manga too, so this is Japanese comic books, and in it, of course, we have tons of ninja stuff, tons, especially the older ones, and the older ones are awesome, by the way. But in that, they have basically your main characters always carrying a ninja to, which is a ninja sword, always a ninja katana. Always. And that's their main weapon. Yes, they use shuriken, a bunch of other stuff, but that's their main weapon, always, right? It's the main character. If I were to do my own manga, I've always, you know, been interested in doing that, been interested in manga and stuff. So it's like if I were to write my own manga, my main character, his main weapon would be the Kusari Fundo. It would not be the ninjato. He wouldn't even carry that. He would be all about the Kusari Fundo. Yes, he might have some other, you know, a shuriken or whatever, but the Kusari Fundo is his main. So that's how much I like it. Have I ever used it? Do I have one? Have I ever owned one? Never, absolutely. I have no, really, I've looked at, you know, some ninja textbooks, ninjutsu textbooks and stuff. I've seen, you know, Hatsumi Sensei, all the, you know, Stephen Hayes, all that stuff where they're, you know, showing how to use it. So, but that's really that. I have zero training in it, and I don't know. It's just for me, it's fascinating weapon. I think it's super cool. I like that you could just it's chain that you could just put in your pocket. You hold it in your hand like this. No one would know. It's really not that massive, so it wouldn't be like the chain would be, you know, all over the place, you know, where you're just struggling to keep it. No, it's not, from my understanding, it's not that long, really. So it's a short thing. So it's very concealable, is my understanding. And yeah, I think it's amazing. Yep. And so I've looked it up in a Japanese side of YouTube. So amongst, you know, and I've made a friend who is a Kusari Fundo guy, and he uses a very long one, and he's experimented with different lengths, different types of weights and stuff like that. But seriously, when I searched, he was really the only guy for me that I really liked, and really there really wasn't a whole lot. So and I've been able to develop a friendship with the guy, and I just think it's amazing, the stuff that he does with it. So yeah. So that's it. My favorite ninja weapon is a Kusari Fundo. What is yours, and why? Okay, so if you comment below, I'll do my best to make sure to read it, and I will do my best to comment back. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.